Good afternoon, Bruin fans, and welcome to another edition of Something Bruin with Coach Cook here in Season 4, Week 2. And Coach Cook, how you doing here after the season opening win and first week of school with the students back?
I'm doing pretty good, Mark. I'm doing very well. This is our fourth year opening up 1-0. Very proud to keep that streak going. As far as the classroom is concerned, we got a good group of kids that I get to work with this year, and we're back at it week 2. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I know with definitely leading into Labor Day weekend, and Elizabeth and I going out to Williamsburg to see our nephew, who's a student at William and Mary. Definitely kept close close eye there on the first game for the Bruins, and it was a nice. Open up on the road, but a nice W. And the defense pitched a shutout, and the offense great running game. So definitely a team effort.
Yeah, it was awesome. We had to battle the elements more. It was very warm, very humid. I believe it was close to 80 by kickoff. And, that's why we work out. That's why we train in the summer to be prepared for the late part of August, early part of September. But our Bruins found a way to get it done. Our second half was the better version of us. But we got to find a way to start fast and finish strong.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And the thing is over there on the peninsula, Hampton and Newport News schools, have that city stadium, Hampton Darling, Newport News, Todd Stadium. So their Todd Stadium definitely with track, rich in history, but definitely great game all around, and also the guys up front, they don't get their names in online or in the newspaper, but definitely with the passing and the rushing attack, it's, some of it is because of our O line making the holes and giving time for Derek to complete some passes.
100%. Coach Duncan has done a great job, really, reinventing the wheel, if that makes sense. And the word that I've been preaching all off season is being physical. We got to be a physical team. That's in both trenches, if that makes sense. But our offensive line did a great job. They're gelling very well. And we also saw playing Menfield that we have depth. We have guys that could come off the bench, get right into the scheme of what we're running, and there's no major drop off. Joshua Simpson came off the bench as a sixth man on the O line, as well as Dejure Alexander. And those guys did a phenomenal job for us. But our front starting five, they really did an amazing job blocking for Makari Brown Porter, Tyson Holland, and Konique Baines, respectfully.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out, Porter, you talk about playing physical, running hard. I mean, definitely on that fourth and goal, touchdown run. You talk about somebody that kept his legs moving and going forward. That was definitely a nice physical run for him to get us on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. I love to take credit, but I can't. That's all Makari Brown Porter. We mentioned it last week about Coach Simpson coming on our staff and being our strength and conditioning coordinator and coach. And, you saw the weight room show up. You saw his all-season training, his agility, mobility. But, it's all God's gift and blessing to Makari Brown Porter, where you're seeing a full maturation now of him. He's been a Bruin since day one, and now he's starting to reap the benefits of his hard work and dedication and commitment to our program.
Yes, and Baines definitely a great game out of the backfield. And his opening day stats kind of reminds me of what Blizzard did.
Correct, 100%. You just take 20 pounds off of Blizzard and you got the same guy. Kanik is very twitchy. He runs well behind his pads. In space, he's slippery. You can't tackle him in a phone booth. However, he gives a lot of credit to his offensive line. You know, he's a very positive young man, wants to be successful, believes in the system. And again, this is year 2 within our program, and he's picking up right where he left off.
Yeah. And the thing is about football, you talk about the starting five on the line, but then you point out the two kids that came in off the bench. I mean, yes, everybody wants to hear their name, in the starting lineup, but the thing about the game of football and especially playing in the humidity, you might not be on the field there for play one, but over the 4 quarters and over throughout the game, the chips might fall where that sixth, seventh man that comes in definitely plays a lot of plays.
Correct. I think there's a Bruin alum that used to hashtag team ball at Western Branch. Now he's at Wake Forest, and that's Devin Cook. But I preach one Bruin. We come in, we're one team.
Yeah.
We compete together for one another. It's the next man up mentality, and those two guys, along with some guys that rotated in on defense, really model that standard of our football program.
Yes, and then even the touchdown pass, I mean they're back in the end zone, and one of the stations, making it a top play,
Yeah.
kind of envisioned of a big time you know NFL game back in the
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
but definitely a great play on both players with not giving up and making the plays to get another score there for the Bruins.
That's all season chemistry. That's the commitment and dedication from January all the way to August. At the moment when that play took place last week in August, but those guys have been gelling all off season. They're coming together as one, and this is a unique program. Sometimes you hear the big names, you hear the guys that are highly recruited. This is just a football team of guys that want to win games, and that was the play that really modeled by all means, I want to go 1-0. And Derek Cook has done a phenomenal job. Jamari Parker has done a phenomenal job. C.J. Frazier. Too many names to name, but these guys are really coming together as one, really compete for one another. And again, coming off a 4-7 year, winning a game is more important than individual accolades. And these guys are really modeling that mindset as well.
Yeah, and the thing is I know we've highlighted some offensive players' names, but when the team pitches a shutout, I mean Parker with an interception, C.J. Frazier with eight tackles, and Porter and Ramsey, playing well there inside the box. So Eric squared, Coach Black and Coach E
Yeah.
and the other assistants
Yep.
that helped them. I mean, it was definitely a great defensive game plan that the Bruins had.
Yes, they put it together. Again, just watching them work throughout the week. And I shared this with them yesterday. How you practice is how you perform, So at the end of the day, for me, we got to have the same game speed and practice that we want to see on Friday nights. And some of those things that we're highlighting are what you see our kids consistently do in practice. Again, Jamari Parker, a momentum changer, whether it was a punt return that picked up 25 to 30 or interception that stalled the drive right after we scored. He's the difference maker on defense. Trey Miller did a phenomenal job as a free safety and being the quarterback of that secondary. And then our front with Bryce Parker, being a senior anchor in the front. He's done a good job for us. We could only get better, though. Tim Pierce stepping up at cornerback and just playing for the greater good of the program. These are guys that, again, want to win games. These are gamers, but they're also winners. And, it really felt good. And they felt good watching them compete. And we can only get better, Mark. That's the beauty of it all.
Yeah, yeah, and now with I mean, to all the listeners out there, Grassfield, Oscar Smith, Western Branch, the football programs have to look for two, non-conference opponents. So, here last year and this year, we opened up with Menchville and then we followed that up with Benedictine. So tomorrow, Benedictine coming in from the 804 private school. They got us last year. They're 0-1. This year they lost by a touchdown, I think like 41-34. So tomorrow, definitely a great opponent to have the season opener.
Correct. And I think I said this last year. We could have, for lack of better terms, a cupcake schedule, go
Yeah.
undefeated, and then run into juggernauts the entire playoff, right? And people are scratching their head. How do you go 10-0 and then you lose in the first round, the second round, the third round? So
Yeah.
for us, we want a quality opponent early. Coach Lilly does a good job at Benedictine, along with some guys, some local guys, Kevin Coles that played at IC Norcom during my time, and we played together as teammates at Virginia State University. Their staff does a good job preparing them well. That's been our all-season challenge. When they get off the bus and we get off, how do we match up? And I'm very pleased with where we are. We're still Western Branch High School, but we're not the same team from a year ago. And I stand on that, and I believe that wholeheartedly due to the leadership qualities that we're seeing this year, due to the off-season commitment and the coaching that we continue to do with our young men within our program. So we're excited to host Benedictine Prep. Normally, you host them for a home and you honor in a way, but because their best available day was a Saturday, and I didn't know if I would have my full team and staff, they were willing to travel back to Art Branger Stadium and give us another opportunity to get better.
Yes, and you bring up the namesake of the stadium, and yes, he was a leader in the main office, but definitely somebody that had a hand in the start of Bruin football there with Mr. Brander.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up? I miss you, man. Hope all is well. Hope
Yeah,
all is
yeah.
well.
He definitely, with having my number, definitely text on game day, and then he definitely listens in and sends always interested, and also with having a home game there tomorrow. I mean, Coach Arculin,
Hmm.
definitely somebody else that led the program, and to this day, tunes in and tries to catch a game or two.
Absolutely. Just great. Just great people, great men, awesome supporters. I think, Mr. Branger was there when I was announced,
Yeah.
and just seeing that come full circle, being a student athlete, and then a leader in a leadership role at West Branch High School, and still having that support means everything. So we're excited. Bruin Nation always travels. The support has always been there, and it's really about the kids. It's not about me or anybody on our staff. It's about the young men that put in the work. 20 hours a week to really represent their school community and represent their community of Western Branch to the best of their ability.
And you bring up, reaching out to the community and representing the community. The phrase that you have brought up to invite and guest speakers there with Tuesday Talk Tuesday. A couple weeks ago, Coach Duncan's dad, Bruin alum, and
Yes.
serves in the community with his job as being in the ministry, leading a local church. That was cool to see, not only a family member of one of the coaches, but a Bruin alum to come back and talk to the team after practice on a Tuesday.
Correct. And the guys were locked in, and to me, again, just that moment had to be everything for Coach Duncan. passing the torch, but yet you have that support that you've always had, growing up as a child, now as a man, you still have it, which is awesome. But I believe nothing happens on accident.
Right.
As much as I want to take credit for the phrase Real Talk Tuesday, to me, I've always been a sponge as a coach. And my
Yeah.
credit goes to Coach Mike London and William and Mary, as that's something they use and they do at William and Mary for the young men that are navigating the college world and young adult world. So I adapted it to our high school level and didn't want to break anything, but always want to give credit, but
Right.
didn't want to change the meaning of it, didn't want to change the day of it, because again, it's one of the days of install, but it's a day early where the kids can hold on to the message throughout the entire week, as well as going into Friday night or Thursday night's game.
Yeah, yeah, and the thing is here with school opening, balancing homework, practice, and then I know that JV, is currently, boarding a bus right now and
Yes,
heading out there to Norfolk and battle Lake Taylor here with a JV matchup and their season starting.
correct. I'm excited. Again, our JV has practiced with our varsity. They did have a scrimmage versus Salem late in our opening scrimmage or week one scrimmage, not related to the season, but just your preseason matchups. And then they had a JV scrimmage versus Cox.
Okay.
So Coach Duncan and Coach E and the rest of our staff were able to kind of see where we were, put some things together for 2 weeks. And then, as you mentioned, they open up tonight at Lake Taylor High School versus a good Lake Taylor football program and JV team. So tonight will really give us an indication of how much we have grown, but it's not a indication of our season or the outcome of what the rest of our season will look like.
Yes. Well, hey, Coach Cook, I know that with JV being on the road and preparing for tomorrow's first home game. I know that tonight is a walkthrough here for varsity, but definitely here tonight's episode not as long as the usual ones, because definitely want to be locked in here with the home opener there tomorrow. So
Correct.
appreciate your time, and it's want to know in the classroom and want to know on the field.
Yes, absolutely. Real quick before we close, Bruin Nation, if you could come out, come on out. It's going to be a beautiful evening, Friday night under the lights for our young men that have really been working hard, not just in camp, but also in the off season and in the classroom. There were 5 guys that received scholarship offers yesterday
Oh,
to a Division II school in Detroit, Michigan, Wayne State University, where a Bruin alum, Jason Harris, is currently on their active roster. So we're very happy for those young men that received that opportunity, and the sky's the limit for them. It shows that the hard work and the patience in the process will always be on good timing, not the timing that they wanted to be on. And then lastly, to all the guys that have been working within our program, my support staff, I personally want to say thank you. Mark, thank you for putting this
well,
platform on.
yeah.
Principal, our admin team, and AD. Just a lot of thank yous to go around. But I'm excited about tomorrow night, and our Bruins taking the field for the first time at home.
Yeah, and I guess I'm showing my age. I mean, first home game, there used to be a Friday morning pep rally, but I guess with block scheduling and 30 years later, I get no more first game pep rally.
No, not at all. I mean, the fall of my freshman year in '94, we had 7 classes.
Right.
We had 7 classes. So, but no, the excitement is there. The fanfare is there. But just like homecoming, I tell our guys, we're the entertainers. The
Yeah.
pep rally is great, but when the ball is kicked off at 7 o'clock, we're the big show. So, we like to stay under that radar, continue to work, finish up today's practice, go support JV, and get good rest and be ready to take on a good Benedictine prep tomorrow evening.
Yes, and to some of the text messages that I received last Thursday, had a family commitment, on driving to Williamsburg, but tomorrow, I plan on being on the being on the sidelines. But if you don't have your tickets yet, go to gofan.com, select Western Branch, football, and come on out and support these student athletes.
Correct, 100%.
So, all right. Well, hey, Bruin Nation, this is here week 2 of season 4, the closing of the episode. So, thanks again, Coach Cook, and see you out there tomorrow night. And go Bruins!
Go Bruins!
All right.